enough people to be paraprofessionals, so you couldn't replace them. A lot of times they'd show up late. A lot of times they'd be on their cell phone the entire day and they wouldn't even care about the kids, but they had responsibilities to perform many jobs. They're difficult to manage because most of the time people with limited job skills, these types of workers, they don't really care about the job and the position in the first place. When that occurs and you don't have anybody to replace them, it's difficult. And there isn't a right answer for this. So, last part of this chapter looks at psychological types. We're going to talk about a little bit about these. And if you took leadership theory in the master's program, you were probably exposed to this a little bit. So, the one that I like that the textbook doesn't do, so this is additional loose stuff, this is the DISC inventory. I actually prefer this. This gives you a score and a percentage on dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. You can look for free ones online, but the Myers-Briggs tends to be the one that the book talks about. So the people that are high in dominance are very aggressive, ambitious, forceful. They're determined. They base the decisions on their best interests. Influencing people are political. They're relationship builders. They try to make their decisions based on feelings. Steady people are patient, predictable, stable, and consistent. Conscientious people are careful, cautious, exact, neat, accurate, and perfectionist. And they're the types of individuals that are looking for structure. So different people have different personalities, and different one of these match up. DI are your outgoing extroverted types. CS are quiet and introverted. D and C, this is a difficult combination. If you have a principal that is a DC, that means that they're very task-oriented, and the number one thing in their mind is the bottom line. So these are, superintendents, administrators that are DC, they're going to be your challenging ones. I and S, I call those our elementary school principals because happiness matters, and they're socially oriented, that sort of thing. You will never see somebody be a DS or a CI. They kind of play off of each other and they don't really work together. If you have one of those combinations, that's probably somebody who is in struggle with themselves or their careers, and they are just run-of-the-mill, nothing really consistent. They just probably need more self-discovery. So Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs is the one, this is one of the most valid tests available, and it does produce consistent results every time that somebody takes it. There are 16 different combinations of it. You're going to answer this as part of your discussion board. It's similar to the DISC. You can, if you want to pay the $19.99 for the full version of this, I honestly think it's worth it. If we had money for OSU to pay for this stuff, maybe it's something they would. But one of the things that you could do on your dissertation, you could give new administrators, because I always thought about doing this, give a new administrator the Myers-Briggs and do a longitudinal study and wait 5 years and give it to them again and see if their personality type changed. Because then I could make the argument that maybe their personality didn't change, but the organization changed their personality. Just something to think about. I know nobody wants to do a 5-year dissertation, so maybe I'll do this as a study. So you're going to have 4 different dichotomies. You're either an extrovert or an introvert, and all of you know whether you're an extrovert or introvert already. I don't think you need a test to tell you that. But the sensing or intuition, the thinking or feeling, and the judging or perceiving, that's kind of one that answering the questions is probably going to help you understand. So extroverts are people that just act, they don't think. They love people, they want to interact with people, they want to do whatever they can to be around people. Introverts try to be quiet. They just like to play, sit back, listen, understand themselves. Once they understand their role within the organization, then they're comfortable to interact with other people. Most of them think first, and then they act. So pay attention to this one, because this one's a little challenging. The other ones are pretty easy. S and N gets a little bit of challenging. A sensing person wants tangible, concrete, current information. Intuition, they're okay with theory and abstract things. These are the type of people that say, it's how you interpret it. The sensing ones say it's what's supposed to be in front of you. Has to be based on data. So if I give you standardized test scores from 8th grade math, the sensing person would say, well, this is what it is because this is what it's supposed to be. The person that might fall under the intuition branch might say, well, wait a second. This one class had 16 in it. This one class had 24 in it, so there might be a different way to interpret this information. Thinking or feeling, this one's easy. A thinking person, it has to be consistent and coherent. A feeling person makes the decision based on how their decision is going to impact others. That's tough as a school leader, because sometimes you're going to be faced with really, really, really hard decisions. And being a feeler is challenging in this profession. So judging or perceiving, a judging person, boom, wants something settled immediately, doesn't like to have decisions or conflicts unresolved. Your perceiving people will wait till it's in the best interest of both parties to resolve a conflict, and they prefer to keep their actions open. So the textbook talks about the Big Five personality model. I'll mention it briefly. It's something else that we've seen. We talked about extroversion already. People that are more extroverts, they have higher performance, enhanced leadership, and higher job and life satisfaction. The problem is future superintendents, you have to let your principals be extroverts, and then that'll give them higher performance. So agreeableness, people are better liked. If they're cooperative and trusting, everybody likes them. But they're also compliant and conforming, which is a good thing. If you have a building that's difficult to manage, and you can put an agreeable person in there, they're going to go along with whatever you say as the district leader. It's probably going to stop lower levels of deviant behavior, because if they're agreeable, they're not going to behave in a deviant manner. So conscientiousness, these are people that really have drive and discipline. Organization is everything, and they're persistent about things. I worry about people that are too conscientious in school leadership positions. It's a positive thing, and it does lead to higher performance, but there are times when you don't have enough time for a turnaround. You don't have enough time to change things, and you just have to make decisions. But these people are more meticulous in their planning, so they might not make these decisions. So emotional stability, obviously, you have to be calm, not that nervous, and not depressed and not insecure when you're in position. People with high emotional stability have less negative thinking, they're less hypervigilant, and they have higher life satisfaction and lower stress levels. I like machiavellianism. This is a theory that you might want to look at. I would have loved to have done a dissertation on it, but nobody's done it in a while. This is something else that might spark some of your interest, especially some of you people that are interested in a business approach. Machiavellianism is this notion, it's named after Niccolo Machiavelli, who wrote The Prince, which is one of my favorite books ever. It was a book on how princes gain power using the stuff that is available to them within an organization. So there was a scale that was made off of that said whether a prince was a high Mach or a low Mach. Individuals that are high Machs have emotional distance, they're pragmatic, and they believe that the ends justify the means. I would argue that in your urban schools, your superintendents have to have emotional distance, and they have to believe that the ends can justify the means. They're going to probably be high Machs. Some of your more community-based schools, you'd be a high Mach, you're going to be run out of there probably within a day. So high Machs manipulate more, they win more, and they flourish when they interact face-to-face with others. And if there's not that many rules and regulations, they get to set the rules. If you get rewards for winning, these are individuals that are going to do well because they want to win. And that's important to note. So, we talk about narcissism. You've heard me say all teachers are narcissists. Remember that, because every single teacher I know thinks they're the greatest teacher that ever walked on the planet. So they think they're better leaders. Some of them can be selfish and explosive, but they might not realize that they're not. You have a responsibility as a principal to coach them and mentor them to make them feel as though, even though they are, completely in belief of how great they are in their position, you can still help them to see what they can do for continuous improvement as well. So type A personalities, I'm a type A personality. I move, I talk fast, I eat rapidly, and I get very impatient with things. I have to do 2 or more things at once. I hate leisure time, and I try to measure my success based off of numbers. I am a perfect type A personality. I don't think that's a bad thing. Your type B personalities, they're listening to Kenny Chesney on the beach, essentially. They play for fun and relaxation instead of superiority, and they relax without guilt. If this was a business course and I was going into the difference between type A and type B, I would stress how type B is really a European type of thing. Your European school districts and your European teachers really just don't have the sense of time urgency. Everybody's pretty chill. They show up as they please. Whatever gets done, and they're pretty relaxed. United States isn't that type of environment. So values are the idea of what's right and wrong. I'm going to talk a little bit about terminal and instrumental values here. So terminal is the people that are looking for the desirable end states of existence. What do you want to achieve during your lifetime? So I asked you this at the beginning of class. I said, what's your end goal? What is your terminal goal? And honestly, if you're sitting in a doctoral program and you don't have a notion of what your terminal goal is, I think that's a problem, because a doctorate is a terminal degree. So you should go into a terminal degree with a terminal goal. It makes sense. Instrumental values, this is, the modes of behavior that you're going to use and the values you're going to have, they're going to help you achieve the terminal values. So what do people want? A lot of people want comfortable life, exciting life, sense of accomplishment, world of beauty, equality, family security, freedom, happiness, world of peace. Those are all good things to want. Those are all good terminal values. I'm thinking some of you want to be superintendents in large school districts. Some of you eventually want to be college professors. Some of you hope to publish. Some of you hope to research. Those are all terminal values. Instrumental values is what you need to do to meet those goals. You have to be honest, helpful, forgiving, courageous, clean, cheerful, capable, broad-minded, and ambitious. So, I think this is important to show. What are our work cohorts? The veterans you're probably not seeing many more of. We see them at the university level because they still haven't retired yet, but there are veterans that exist. Most of them have loyalty to the organization and they're hardworking, and they'll conform when they need to. The boomers don't like authority. They're loyal to their career, and they want success, achievement, and ambition. This is the population right here. The boomer cohort is the population that is retiring now. This is the one whose jobs you're going to be replacing. These are the ones that are in their terminal superintendencies, who are doing their last 2 or 3 years to make way for you is the Xers, and then the Nexters. The Xers believe in people. They like a work-life balance. They're team-oriented, and we would argue school has moved to this as well. Team-oriented concepts in schools, professional learning communities, big team-oriented concept. The Nexters, they're loyal to themselves and relationships, but financial success comes first. This is a challenge when you're recruiting new teachers, because the first thing they're going to say is, show me the money. How much am I getting paid? So that's it for this chapter. Use what you want to use if you think it benefits you moving forward. You've had motivational theories before, and you've learned about diversity in the workplace. It's an okay chapter, but my guess is you've seen this stuff before. Thank you.